So what about those who are on the left of politics and the right of politics? Because there are Christians who would have looked at the memorial service yesterday and saw all of the Republican representatives, and there may be the fact that none of them agree with any of these representatives of the president's cabinet and the president himself, but they were all there speaking. How do those on the left deal with this situation? And how do those on the right deal with those situations as well? In the common goal to become more united? Well, I think those on the left and those of the right need to stop looking at each other and essentially trying to remove the speck out of each other's eyes whilst not looking at the plank in our own eyes. So for those on the right who are looking at some people on the left and saying, I can't believe that there are some who are saying that Charlie Kirk had it coming. I can't believe that there are some who are rejoicing in this. I can't believe that there are not enough people on the left trying to downplay the tragedy. Now, we saw some good comments from the likes of Bernie Sanders, but this is some of the stuff that's coming out of the right. But I think the right of politics, if you are a Christian and you're on the right, instead of looking at the problems of the left, let's look at what we can do. How can we better the situation? I think that's the real message, and I think we saw that yesterday. That the way that we on the right can actually look at how we can become better unified is to keep focusing on having decent conversations. There are always going to be those who want to spit in our face and reject us and call us nasty names. But we can't allow those situations to discourage us. We have to constantly have an air of openness, of humility, and a desire to hear from the other side. If they don't want to talk, that ultimately is not our problem. We can't force them to do things. But we have to focus on open conversation, an open mind of where we can change our minds, of where our opinions may be wrong. But as long as we are all doing that, on the foundation that Christ is Lord, I think that we can do the best that we can to advance conversation and more unity. And what about those on the left? What can they do? Well, I think they need to stop saying that, well, the right is the problem. They go too far in some of their viewpoints. They go so far, and that bleeds into the way that they articulate their viewpoints. We might agree with what they're trying to say fundamentally, but because we don't like the way that they articulate it, we have to reject them. I think those on the left need to do the same sort of thing. They need to look at the right and say, okay, I don't agree with the way that you're doing it, but let's talk. And I would also, on both sides, I would have the left, I would suggest to those on the left to implore the leaders of the left to really stand up and talk about Christian values and reach out to the left, to the right, and try and focus on unity. And I would say that to the right as well.